And we are live Wednesday night with those guys. And Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. Welcome, everyone. And tonight's a little different. I'm here without Lawrence, who is normally my main co-host. And I'm just waiting on everyone else who is going to come in tonight to come in on the panel. A couple of things tonight that we want to talk about, but I just want to apologize to everyone about what happened last week with the stream and all of the troubles that I was having with the stream last week, and what was going on with YouTube and the link between YouTube and Zoom. Hey, Tim Jackson, what's going on, man? How's it going? How you doing? You at work? Or you on your way? But as far as, like I said, the problem I was having with the link with YouTube and Zoom, I still haven't figured that out, but I'm working it out. Hey, Michael, what's up? What's up? What's up? Can't stay long? Okay. That's all right. Thanks for stopping in, man. Anytime. Anytime you can stop in and say hello. Joe Mac. But yeah, I guess everyone is aware. Eddie Nunez, what's going on, man? I guess everyone is aware of what's going on with Lawrence. He's he had, hey David, what's up? He contracted COVID, and he's doing better now. Him and his wife was sick. She was hospitalized. He was home. I guess everyone is aware of what's going on with Lawrence. His daughter wasn't. She wasn't sick. She in fact, she's okay, and she's they're isolating. But I spoke to him a couple hours before the show. Hey, Drone Shots was good, man. Spoke to him a couple hours before the show, and he sounds a lot better. He sounds better than he did last week, Wednesday, when he was here on the panel. Hey, Jackson RC, what's up, Chris? He sounds much better. He told me to let everyone know that he's 60% better. It's still, I hear it in his voice. He's telling me what he was going through. And he sounds a lot better. I've spoken to him every day. I text him every couple of hours to make sure everything is good. Hey Paul, what's going on? And he just wanted me to let everyone know that he's good and he'll be back soon. How you doing there, Tom?
Good, Herman. Good to hear about Lawrence and the family doing better.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough.
It's real tough these days. I have a friend that's currently in ICU on a ventilator. So it's real, man. It's real. So, be careful, protect yourself. And by doing so, you protect everyone else too. We, from the bottom of my heart, we all greatly appreciate it. Wear your mask. Make sure, by the way, the nose is connected with the mouth, so it's always good you cover both. Yeah. Again, greatly appreciate that.
Yes, definitely. Because when we had the first wave, I had one of the neighbors here in the building. He passed from one of my sister's good friends. And we had another neighbor on the block here also that passed.
It's hard to realize what the healthcare workers are really going through. It really is. They're on the front lines. It's a battle. It really is. Back in the day when I was working the streets, in the good old South Bronx on midnights, I love that place. If you did a cardiac arrest, You worked on the patient. You try to get a shockable rhythm back if you could. Pushing meds, drop a line, intubate. But if you couldn't, then you were probably picking up and heading to the hospital, family in tow. And when you got there, even if they pronounced the patient DOA at the hospital, the family was still thankful that you tried everything you could.
Right.
During the first wave of this pandemic in New York City, our medics and EMTs would go to the scene, and the protocol had to be updated where they would attempt to work on the patient for about 20 minutes.
Right.
After 20 minutes, if they couldn't get a shockable rhythm, they had to pronounce the patient on site and then take up and leave and go on the next call. And that was really hard to deal with because, the family is looking at you like, hey, why are you stopping? Because you're not going to get a level of success and you can't even console the family.
Right.
So just think about the PTSD that these poor EMTs and paramedics, these nurses and doctors are going to be faced with at the end of this rainbow. And, even though this late rainbow looks bleak, there is an end to it. We can't forget them,
No.
Imagine if they weren't here, who'd be keeping us around, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of family who work in the hospitals and stuff like that. And, it really started to get real. Like I said, the first time when, my sister works in the hospital. And when you have doctors in the maternity, I can't hear you, Tom.
Yeah.
You got doctors in maternity that's, contracting it, and patients coming in there to deliver babies who haven't.
Yeah.
I started to hear those stories.
Yeah, there's, it's a tough situation. It really is. And we can go a long way to help in the situation. I mean, I know there's a lot of controversy out there. A bunch of people don't want to take the shot, the vaccines and all of that. Folks, I'm looking at the fact that if we can get about a 70% herd immunity by the spring, early summer, we could actually walk into something that resembles a summer.
Yeah.
95% effective rate. I like those odds. Come on. How many of you go to play the slots? Okay. You're getting about a 1 to 2 cent payback on every dollar you're shoving in that device, but you still sit at it. Hey, I think I'm going for the 95% effective rate on the vaccine. Get those 2 shots, hunker down for a week or 2. Get over the fact that, I might feel achy or, something like that. That, the fact is, look, when you get a vaccine, you're injecting something foreign into your body. They're not changing your DNA. It's an RNA roadmap, basically. But when you inject something into your body, the white blood cells, generate and go on the attack. That's why you feel that achiness. That's why, and what they're doing is they're going, hey, what's happening here? And then when they get a look at what's going on, they imprint themselves. So when you do get the flu, okay, you don't get it as bad because your white blood cells know what to do. The same thing here. And this vaccine, when you look at the flu shot and you go, hey, it's 70% effective. This shot is 95%, whether you get the Pfizer or the Moderna. So, and it didn't get rushed through. It went through full clinicals. Okay. Now, would I take the Sputnik vaccine in Russia? I don't think so. But if you're in Russia, I don't think you're given a choice. So there's a big difference there. But look, I would like to get back to life, right? And we'd all like to get back to the fact that we can actually see our families and participate with one another and start socializing and enjoying ourselves again and living that soft life.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, I just, like I said, it's crazy when these things start hitting close to home.
Yeah. So Welsh Rob said, hey, they said in part of the UK that they found a new strain of COVID. See, this is the risk you take if you delay too long in battling something.
Right.
It can continue to evolve and morph. Okay. So look, there are numerous strains of COVID out there. Okay. From the common cold to what we're dealing with today. We're going to be fighting these things for a long time to come. The thing that we have to remember is let's fight them with science. Okay. Because when we try to fight them, if you go into your toolkit and you pull out the wrong tool, you got to turn a nut, you pull out a screwdriver. How successful are you going to be? So you know what? We got to reach in the toolkit. We got to pull out the science tool and deal with these things, not the politics tool.
Right.
Okay. The politics tool just doesn't fit. It's not working. So let's get this done. Tim Jackson, you're down under. I mean, you had to deal with lockdowns. The government wasn't letting up. You got a much different story down there than we're dealing with here. So we got to face this. We got to face this as one group, okay, and not a band of misfits roaming around mindlessly trying to figure this shit out.
You're absolutely right on that one, Tom, because I think if we had one set of, thing to follow, then I think it would be so much easier instead of everybody wanting to do this and nobody having the same thing to follow.
Yeah. Well, one game plan would work out pretty well for us, but hey, we're the United States, remember? 50 individual legislatures.
That's the problem.
Hey.
I mean, it could actually be
dysfunctional family at its best, right? We all know that, right? Okay. We all have that somewhere in our lineage, right? So, hey, why should this be any different?
You would think.
Hey, that's for Lawrence, by the way. Okay, so I figured.
Who knows?
Yep. So, one more thing to deal with in life, right?
Right. But yeah, we're here.
So we're here, man. We're here. And how soon am I getting that DJI FPV drone in place? Okay, come on, man. Well, I thought, Christmas. What I'm going to get for Christmas is I'm going to get remote ID. That's not what I asked Santa Claus for.
That's not what you wanted?
Okay. No. I wasn't asking for remote ID. I was asking for a DJI FPV drone. Okay. Well, I'm more likely to get the coal than the shiny bike under the tree. So
you got to wait a little longer.
Yeah, I think so.
Just a little longer.
Yeah, I think so. I think we got a little bit of wait because, look, you can't get that kind of product out quick enough. And if you're going to release it, before Christmas, there's an expectation that people are going to get it under the tree, right? Okay.
Right.
And if that's not the case, then there's going to be a couple of bad reviews here and there. So it's probably more likely to come out in a couple of months than a couple of
some
weeks.
people are crying January, but I don't know. The thing is, and some might say it could have come out. It could have come out already. It could have come out for Christmas.
Yeah.
Being that we found out about it,
Look, they release these things to, it's just like anything else, right? There's a development process that goes in place. And by the way, Welsh Rob, you joined late. Yeah, Lawrence is recovering from COVID-19. Him and family. He sends his regards. And he wishes everybody the best. And of course, we wish him and the family speedy recovery. With every development, there's different stages, right? So, you build it, you think it's the greatest thing in the world, but if you build it in a vacuum, it's going to be fraught with issues. So you're going to release it to a small community of people. You beta test this, right? And then the beta testers are going to take a whack at it. They're going to find issues. They're going to find problems. There's going to be firmware upgrade requirements, all of that. And then they'll get that together and then they'll release it. Now, of course, there's a group of us that will always mumble and grumble right after something gets released saying, hey, I just spent $1,500. What am I, a beta tester? Because they'll come out with 3 or 4 firmware updates in the first, couple of weeks. But that's just the way development goes. The wider, you let it out to a beta group, you let them take a whack at it, beat the piss out of it, try to destroy it, give it back to you in pieces in a paper bag, and take that information, analyze it, and figure out how you can make a better mousetrap. And then, they get as close as they can to it. That's basically the way it works. So that's why I think they're probably, could they release it earlier? Yeah, but where are they in the development cycle? We really don't know. Exactly. I think it's fairly late because they did the FCC filing, right?
Right. So that means that you have something already, right?
Well, you did the test report. You got the approval on the test report. So to me, that means you could light up your tests, right? Because honestly, can you broadcast on open frequency if you don't have your test results back? So that's why I think maybe they're at the stage where maybe product is getting out and it's being beta tested and
okay, I see what you're saying. But that, like I said, but if you have that FCC authorization, that means you already have a bird. You already have something in place.
Yeah, well, you have, but again, we all get shipped product with the FCC label on it, right? How many, like I said, how many firmware upgrades do you go through in the first week and a half, right? So yes, to the extent that it needs to be tested to FCC. Realize the frequency interference issues, the broadcast frequency issues, the adherence to the channels, all that's cookie cutter for them at this point.
Right.
So that's basically a submission to the FCC. The FCC goes through what's called the testing phase, issues the test report. The test report is a go or no go. If you don't get a test report, you're a no go. Okay. So that doesn't mean the bird is fully ready. That just means the frequencies in which it transmits and receives on meets the guidelines of the FCC.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that, but you have to have a product to.
You don't have to have something that's flight ready. No. Because that's not the components that are being tested.
Okay.
So it's basically, it's subcomponents within a test rig. You can doctor up anything with a 3D printer today, right, bro? I mean,
true.
So basically that's all they're requiring. It's just like when you submit something to the Patent and Trademark Office, right? You don't actually have to have the product, but you have to have drawings and a facsimile and a narrative about the components, subcomponents, the inner workings, and the uniqueness of the product you're asking for the patent on. But you don't actually have to have the product built. Otherwise, dude, would we have Indiegogo or, right? I backed a couple of failed crowdfunders.
Okay.
I think I still have a joystick out there somewhere. I think Big John has that joystick. You remember I bought that joystick, for my Phantom? Only to find out it doesn't work well with the Phantom, only the Mavic. I was like, what? Built by an astronaut physician, Good concept, good idea. But, man, the execution just wasn't there. That was about 3 large.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one. And we had our hopes up high on that one. I remember that. Scott. Yeah, Scott.
Parazynski? Yes, got it on the head there.
Yeah, that got hopes up high on that one. And Ken Aaron, I think it was the one who started the investigation in the community on it.
Yes.
And
Well, he
then
did not
and
have a
then
good
Bill,
experience.
right? And then
I,
Bill's
I was
experience closed
already,
the door on it.
yeah, I had, they had already gotten hit their goal. So there was no way I could back out at that point. So I liked the idea.
ASK,
The
what's up,
fit
man?
and finish of it was nice.
Hey.
You know, in your hand, it felt good.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't perform.
Mm.
Okay. Nice
Wow.
concept. Well, that's why, you know, at the auto show, there's a lot of concept cars that never hit. Okay. The streets. So,
well, you know
right?
what's funny? What I've learned about concepts and concept cars and the automobile industry, a lot of the stuff that you see on these concept cars are things that they're trying to develop that you're not going to necessarily see them or see them in
They
that
come out in
way.
different variations, right?
Right. Or in that way
Yeah.
on the vehicle. It's just like I got a lot into auto racing, and I realized that these guys on the track are driving the hell out of something that you're probably going to see something similar to it when you go to the dealership and purchase a car. You know, you're not going to get that engine, but you're going to get an engine of that type. When I say that type, meaning that was the actual beginning blueprint for how it wanted to work. Theirs is like overworked, so that they can push it to its extremes. Like, for instance, I'm heavy into the European vehicles, and like Audi used to had these FSI motors, and they pushed the hell out of those cars in the European circuit.
Right.
And they ran them on the streets lovely for years.
Oh, my favorite's a rally, man. They, you know, going for as long as they go, and you know, these are mainly street cars.
That's more dangerous for the spectators than
Oh
me.
man, you see these people? I mean, they're 6, 7 deep on a hairpin curve. What's not right about that? I mean, you know, taking my girlfriend out. Yeah, stand here. Okay. Yeah, pretty scary. Hey, you know what? You brought up something that, you know, I think I fielded this. Who was it? I think I probably, you know, if Eddie's in the chat, I know I probably raised it to Eddie. I said, you know what we got to do? We got a field in New York City. We had this field over by us in Flushing Meadows, you know, the old World's Fair grounds.
Right.
And it's got two big ovals, two big concrete ovals, because it was a control line RC field. And I thought it would be great because I remember seeing Anthony Charles, Invincible Storms. He had this big ass RC car. Okay. Real monster of an RC car. And I said, you know what we should do is like NASCAR. Okay. You have a team. You have a guy with the ground vehicle racing, and in the air you have an FPV drone, okay, as his spotter, okay, and you run 4-car circuits around that large big grass oval. You know, of course, put a couple of turns in there, maybe a couple of ramps, you know, and you do it that way. That seemed like it would be a blast in that oval there.
You know what? They actually have that. A couple of the guys at Brooklyn Hobby, they do that. They race on track and they got off road.
Yeah,
I bought a couple of cars from him.
Well, I've seen the ones, you know, the real technical ones, like the Broncos, that are really you know, for the low speed, just like rock climbers and all. Those are pretty cool too.
You know, they got all kinds of things, man. RC goes from gigantic
one end to the other. Oh yeah, you see some of these, and you know what's
even
really
in the
cool,
things that fly.
The ducted fan, like an F-14 Tomcat with ducted fans and swept wings, you know, maneuverable wings. Amazing what they can do.
Now,
but you know, just that one little accident, man, it's all, you know, you sweep it up with a broom.
I don't know anyone that I see on these live shows in these chats that has more fun flying Then Chris from Jackson RC. Every week he's got a new bird, and he's got some big giant birds flying.
Yeah.
Oh man,
check that out.
Steve, in Maryland.
Steve, is he down in Maryland?
I think he's in Maryland.
I thought he was in the room, right? Was he in the room?
He was in the chat.
Yeah. Yes, gentlemen, it is snowing here.
Oh yeah.
Pretty heavy. That's why, Stevie, I don't expect to see Anthony in the chat. Anthony smelled that snow coming. He's out playing in that snow. You know that.
Hey, Stevie,
yeah, Anthony Charles just
if you feel like coming in.
He prays. He prays for snow. But Stevie beat him to it this year. Stevie went up to Boston and got some great shots in the snow.
Okay. But yeah, this is
Stevie, where are you? You should come in, Steve. We'll try not to get in trouble, Stevie.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll just
What's up, Matt? How's it going, Matt? Yeah, it's look, I'm getting back to the DJI FPV drone.
Yeah.
Look, man, when it comes out, I'm going for it. You know I mean, I'm still wondering what happens with DJI Care and all that, but either way, I
don't think that it's that kind of thing. I had this conversation with Lawrence. It's funny. Today we had a conversation about drones, and we were talking about that. And I was saying to him that this drone, I don't know. Everybody was talking about, like, when you mentioned the Care Refresh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It might have it. You know why? Because I don't think that this drone is I don't think they're going to make this drone something that you could actually really crash like that.
Well, if you look at your experience with them, I'll say, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you're a Phantom flyer, and you saw the iterations of Phantoms as they came out, and the Mavic flyers in the room, even the Mavic Mini 2. The fit and finish on these drones is superb. Okay, so so I see them making it beefy. I see it making it so it's durable enough. I mean, for the common flyer, I look. Is it going to be that 5-inch frame you built from scratch yourself? No. Right. But I'm not building one from scratch.
No, you're right, but I don't even think that it's somewhere along that realm. Like I was saying to Lawrence, I think that for the regular FPV guy, he's going to look at this as maybe like, I've been riding motorcycles and you just gave me a bicycle with training wheels.
Yeah, well, yes, for that person, right? Yeah, Welsh Rob said he heard it as front sensors. It looks like it in the image they showed. It looked like those were front sensors. But then again, remember, they put those on the Mini too, and that was purely decorative. So we'll have to see when it's actually out. But, it appears to be that way. I just, look, you can fly it a bunch of different ways. Eddie makes a point that he predicts it's going to be a little beast and go fast and lots of crashes. Absolutely, Eddie. No doubt about it. There are going to be crashes left and right with this, okay?
And it'll be made something and like
there'll be people, depending. If they do something silly like, okay, we'll give you DJI if you're in this mode, not in that mode. And it's always going to be, I didn't realize I was in the other mode, okay? I just bought this thing at Best Buy. I don't know how to use it. It all comes down to, look, how you're going to use it, right? Am I going to be darting in between tree limbs to see how close I can get? That's not me. That's not what I'm buying it for. Okay. I'm buying it to do those lofts over the cliff and come down and, and strafe the ocean waves. And, that's what I'm looking to do. It's just that I'm going to spend most of my time over land with this one, so at least I can collect the pieces.
I understand that, but now here's the thing. I always say to guys who into DJI made their name off the Phantom. Then when the Phantom 3 came out and they had the professional and all, went into the Light Bridge, and the Light Bridge was a system that got you 3 miles.
Yeah.
Guys, in the beginning, guys loved that. That was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And that was what drew a lot of people to DJI drones. Then the Phantom 4 came out, and they got a little bit more distance. And then the 4 Pro came out, and you got great distance. And they went into Lightbridge 2.
Right.
With that and the Inspire 2 and the Phantom 4 Pro, when they dropped them both on the same day, they came out with the Lightbridge 2, and they got this great distance, and everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
Then they came out with the Mavic, and they came out with the Mavic with the OcuSync on the new system, and that got great distance. And then they came out and they went back a little bit to Wi-Fi, and they came out with the Spark and these other drones, and I can guarantee you,
Spark came out first, right before the Mavic.
If you go on YouTube, you can find distance tests for the Spark. You can find distance tests for the Mini, because guys bank it on the name of the product and how far the other guy got with the last one. This is the greatest thing. I'm going to push it out there. So you're not going to fly it in between two tree limbs, but there's a guy out there that's waiting to get
definitely,
and scream it right into the biggest tree in his neighborhood.
The failing of our agenda is purely how long, how fast, okay, or how high.
Things that make you
That's
look
all we
good.
concentrate on, right?
Things that make you look good.
Exactly.
Things that make you look good or sound good.
Dude, I'm just going to say I'm Irish. I'm not going for that. I'm going for the quality, okay? I'm shooting for quality here, bro.
No, but this is what it has become. And who knows? I mean, like I said,
yeah.
I mean, see what it looks like. I mean, the actual, because like I said, you're talking about beefy and robust. Like, you remember we all remember, no, I don't think anyone here bought one, but the RoboMaster. I think that was like one of the most durable things that they might have come out with.
Yeah, I you know, the great thing about the RoboMaster was the fact that it's a real STEM or STEAM product, you know, that you can really flex its muscle. And there's not enough coverage of what kids and educators are doing with that thing.
Right.
That's a pretty significant tool to be playing with in the classroom. It does offer a lot. But again, it didn't appeal, you know, look, if it could convert, be a transformer and roll down the road and all of a sudden props spun out of it and took off, you know, we each own one, right? Okay. But that's, you know, it didn't appeal to us as quickly because it kind of needed to be programmed. It needed to be built. And that's what I'm saying there's a segment of us that don't want to get into the building aspect of it. We want to operate it. Look, I went to aviation high school, you know, be an FAA mechanic. I decided I didn't want to be a mechanic. I'd rather fly. Okay. So you stop being a mechanic and you fly. Okay.
Yeah.
And you focus your energies on that. So, you know, that's the difference here. I'm a photographer, so it's the camera. It's the creative aspect of it. It's the new point of view or a different point of view, right? You
know what? I kind of wish that the RoboMaster actually had a camera on it and could roll around and film, but it didn't, and that wasn't what it was about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, and you thought it would have been because it came out, you know, with the Osmo, you know, the Ronin. You figured, well, here I go. I got a little dolly. I got a camera dolly I can, you know, use for, but you know, it's not adaptable to that. That would have been a good move for them.
Ray, I agree with you.
Huh?
You can see the chat. Matt shouting you out on the chat.
You said, oh, no, I don't see the chat.
Okay, yeah, Matt shouting.
Yeah. I have to go on the computer to see the chat. My bad. Yeah, I'm just getting in, man. I had to sprinkle some salt around and stuff, man.
You know. It's gonna get ugly over by you if nobody don't do that.
Yeah, so I hit my senior neighbors on both sides of me across the street, took care of the old ladies. I was like, oh, it's 5:30. I said, oh, you're right over here.
Yeah, we're gonna get smacked pretty good over here. So, you know. And then there's a group waiting to fly in this, Ray. Come on.
Oh yeah.
There's one guy in particular, Anthony Charles.
Yeah, we were already
Watch
talking
yourself.
before you came on. Right away, I said, guess who we're probably not seeing in the chat tonight is Invincible Storm, because he's already probably out there.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Justin. Justin flies in it too.
Oh yeah.
Well, the problem, this is a nor'easter.
Mm-hmm.
So the wind speeds, if you're flying FPV, go for it, bro. But if you're flying a camera drone, man, you gotta.
You might want to hold it in your hand.
Friday. Okay, I think you're gonna wait till Friday.
Exactly.
Hold it in your hand and walk around with it.
What you don't want is those frozen propellers.
Yeah.
Well, that's the least of your problem with the wind, that heavy wind.
Yeah, true. But
you get blown into a tree.
The ice will kick up very fast with the wind on it, you know.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Well, yeah, they're talking about 35 to 50 mile an hour winds. So, yeah, that's not something I would play with.
Nah. Yeah, he's smart. He'll wait till it die down a little bit and pop out like a couple of hours in the morning.
Oh, remember, Herman, you got to make that wind chart available to people if you can, okay?
The wind chart.
Yeah, remember, I think we ran into a problem last week because, not last week, the week before, because Lawrence was trying to put it up and share it with people, but he put up the Moth drone instead. We were talking about how to gauge wind speeds and all.
Oh, I gotta go look for it.
Which, by the way, you don't need the chart for this storm, because it's easy to say don't fly in this weather. Wait for things to calm down, and hopefully you get a nice snowy fields you can capture.
Okay. Well, Tom, I had a little story here. You know, everybody was going crazy talking about the ban on the Chinese drones and where it was going, and the Department of Defense not using the drones and this, that, and the other, and a whole lot of craziness. And then DJI, I think, said about DJI not producing anything until the new administration. But apparently, from what I checked out in that article I sent both of you guys, the committee rejected the ban on Chinese drone tech.
Yeah, it's the National Defense Authorization Act.
Yeah, because apparently, in the version before the House, that where it was rejected, that was not in, or it was in the version of the House had that there would be no purchasing of this drone, of Chinese-made drones, on any drone tech of any kind for federal agencies. But in the version of the bill that the Senate had, this was not there, and it was rejected apparently. And apparently, that seems to be just for now. I don't know if that's going to stand, or will they pick it up again? I don't know how that works, but from what I understand, as of now.
So you got two different schools of thought here, right? You got the right side saying, "Oh, this is a mistake. It's got to be righted by the sitting president right now," and it's they can spy on us. And then you got the other side that's saying, you're being xenophobic, but there's a middle to this also, and the middle is you can't build product without those components, okay? Mm-hmm. And until you start making those components within the U.S., you're not gonna have any other resource but to purchase from Chinese manufacturers. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what I find pretty interesting here is we're only focusing on drones.
Right.
Hey, how many surveillance cameras have surveillance cameras used in very sensitive locations throughout the government's infrastructure? How many of those contain Chinese subcomponents?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, look, if you turn around and outlaw this, it's going to be a lot more far-reaching than just the drone community.
Exactly.
And you know what? If you want to
you
right
want.
the wrong of allowing everything to be outsourced, okay, or as some will put it, globalization. But globalization doesn't mean you give up all your cards to everyone else, okay? You still have to maintain a level of infrastructure support within your own country in case there's a point in time your own country has to stand on its own 2 feet for a little while.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not saying be a bad partner. And also it's like, you know, Vic Moss. Vic Moss is well respected in the drone community. Okay, very well respected. He turned around and he said it's like trying to swat mosquitoes with a hand grenade. Okay, banning all Chinese components and drones and commercially available drones.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. I mean, come on, there are ways. Like I've said in past casts, we concerned about the data. Yeah. So what do? You wrap it in a third-party solution. That's all. Okay. So your stuff isn't going someplace else. Now, the claims that, oh, wait a second, they can change code without you knowing it. Well, guess what? They can't do it in the Apple iOS environment. And is Anthony Charles in the chat? I'm sorry, I'm not even in
say it again. No, say it again, Tom.
I said it's
Tom, you're absolutely right, and there is a way of preventing that. You know, that's why of course we spoke on that here.
But the point of the hoopla that was being made about them being able to change code in your phone, it had nothing to do with Apple iOS devices, by the way, because you can't do that in the Apple iOS environment. It happened to do with Google because you had to do that in the Google environment. Okay, because there was no other way to trigger some of those firmware updates to deal with security flaws and all.
Actually,
there is a way you have to opt out. You have to.
No, but the reason why they had an issue with it was because of the bypassing and you not going through Google to receive it. Because they were saying that there could be malicious intent attached to it.
Look, that's what happens when you let everybody build their own phone that uses the Android system. That's what happens when, that's not new to DJI.
But it's not the only app that does that.
Well, that's my whole thing. You can't pin it on DJI. That's DJI's problem. No, it's not DJI's problem. And first off, when you took away the ability to purchase these off-the-shelf drones, okay? DJI just recently released a new version of the Enterprise Mavic series, okay? You take away public safety's ability to purchase these because a lot of departments don't have money of their own that's provided by their taxpayers or their city governments to buy these, so they leverage federal grant dollars. But because the feds had this overreaching ban, you couldn't use those dollars for that. And then when you have the state homeland security entities that have grant money, you figure, okay, it's not federal. No, but the state entities follow whatever the federal entities follow. And then you have the Department of Interior, who had thousands and thousands of these devices. Okay, you guys would be floored by the type of work Department of Interior was doing with these drones.
They would have wanted the first.
They had to ground them, and so none of this, of course, impacts our ability to fight wildfires on the West Coast, or react to disasters, or provide situational awareness and safety for our first line responders. No, it doesn't impact that at all. And that's why, I'm a proponent of stripping it out of the bill. Okay? Because unless you put provisions in that bill to enhance the onshore production of these components, you got no other way to go.
Nope. And that's one thing about Apple. when you look at all these DJI boxes, these drone boxes, it tells you on there Apple required or whatever, something about Apple. So in the future, their drones only going to work with iOS. Just
okay, so Ray,
yeah,
just to be the devil's advocate here, I'm more afraid of Apple than I am of the Chinese government. Okay, I'm just telling you.
I'm more afraid of
okay.
Course.
And I'm broadcasting right now on an Apple device. I'm just saying, between Apple and Google, they got a lot more data on you, damning data on you, than the Chinese ever will. Okay, and that goes for the U.S. government also. So.
Oh yeah,
but I
think Google might have more information on you than the U.S. government.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Google has more information on the U.S. government than the U.S. government has on the U.S. government. Okay,
Amazon.
That's scary. That's the scary part.
Amazon got more information than everybody. That Jeff Bezos, he got everybody's information. You want to really talk about it?
Look. It doesn't. We're all in the hive, guys. Okay, this is Matrix, bro. Yeah. We're all in the hive. Okay,
all of
they. You already got that thing sticking out of the back of your neck. You just don't feel it. That's all. Okay. Instead, you carry it in your pocket. You smile at it.
Oh no, I feel it.
You talk at it. You talk sexy to it.
I feel it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Long time to it.
Yeah, and then they charge you for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, join our cult and now give up a portion of your income. Okay.
Yeah. You want it? Pay me. Like
and
Joe Pesci said.
Tell me it's not a cult.
That's like when we were talking about the monitors and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, every social media, every time I'm on my phone, I'm getting the advertisement for it. This, that, and the other. Even Amazon hit me with the sale.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
And they know what you like, man.
Just kept pushing.
They know what you like.
That's that Jeff Bezos with them algorithms.
There and on Facebook. It was even on Instagram too. Instagram's in on it too. Don't count them out.
Listen, Letitia James, the attorney general for the state, she's going after all of them. She's going after all of them.
Man, you got to realize, Ray, the entire European continent goes after them on a regular basis. There are 49 other states going after them. This is all this is we're just supporting the legal infrastructure of these companies. Okay, we're keeping them tuned up and in business. Man.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's true.
It's pretty funny. It's like, look, we're already owned outright. Okay, they now have a commercial about the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you're in a matrix. They have a commercial about using a browser, DuckDuckGo, so that that you watch that one ad about the earbuds from a particular company. I won't mention the name because they're like Beetlejuice. Mm-hmm. You say their name 3 times, you get a new email from them. Okay, yeah. And it's a commercial about, I got this. I looked once, and from then on, I felt like they were stalking me with these creepy ads. That's on
I saw that commercial.
Now. Yeah, so it's a commercial about a commercial. Okay?
Right.
To buy something else that's going to mask your identity. Okay? So who's monitoring that company who's masking your identity as to where you're going? Okay? Okay? So don't think about running for, you know what? There isn't anybody that was just born that could run for public office in the future. Okay? Unless they're a devout religious soul that never tells a lie. Because every lie is now recorded. Every mistake is now recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Every thought will soon be recorded. Great place, bro. I'm just glad because I'm getting older. I won't even remember my thoughts. So somebody's going to need to. Okay?
Yeah. The truth.
Okay. But yeah, that's all.
So there was a story you mentioned about Texas.
Yes.
Well, you're talking about people surveilling you and looking at you, right, and tracking you, and that story about Texas came to mind.
Okay, yeah, that was the one where the federal judges ruled a lawsuit over in Texas that against the use of drone photographies can proceed. What's
Yeah.
happening is I guess here, what is it? U.S. Judge, District Judge Robert Pittman rejected the state's offer for them to dismiss the lawsuit because
Right.
this is a lawsuit based against that some laws that were enacted in 2013 that prohibit even the media the way that they're able to film.
A drone cannot look at
Right.
somebody on private property.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and
Could not look at property
it's against
that's private.
What is it? The in violation.
Well, it goes against First Amendment.
The First Amendment, right?
It's First Amendment. Okay.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So now
The
a judge
news,
has heard it.
Yeah,
and
news
says they can go
organizations
forward with the
gather
case.
video.
So I don't know what they got to go through over there with the media in the usage of drones, but
well, the problem is that any use of drones by the media could subject them to arrest and potential lawsuits, and that's the whole idea behind this, is the fact that news organizations gather video, right?
Right.
And so, this law basically is pretty overreaching. We have a law from 1947 in New York City that says you cannot take off or land an aircraft anywhere within the 5 boroughs or 310 square miles of New York City, except for a couple of places, right?
Right.
Again, doesn't stop a lot of people from flying. Is it right? No, it's not right. It's overreaching. And I think that law in Texas is overreaching. Now, there are laws against using stuff for promotion. Like, look, if I'm a street photographer and I take your photo and it's used in an editorial, I'm protected, okay? But if I use that photo and all of a sudden it's a huge billboard for Chanel No. 5, I'm not protected because I didn't get a release,
right?
Okay? So there are guidelines. Now, if it's news gathering is editorial, and news gathering is covered under the First Amendment of free speech.
Correct. But
so what's happening was the news entities within the state filed a lawsuit against the state to overturn that law, that it was in violation of the First Amendment, and that the term use surveillance was too broad and vague, okay, to be limited to what probably was the original intent was from a civil rights standpoint, not allowing law enforcement without first exercising the right process or the judicial process to allow them to surveil, okay, people on private property. That's probably what the intent was. But it became pretty overreaching that it was even attributed to news gathering entities. So the news agencies got together and filed a lawsuit in district court.
Well, from what I understand, some of those laws over there in Texas, with the way everything was going on, is that you can't even film from public property or from public, area.
Correct.
And
correct.
If something is in like on my home, you can't put my home in that shot because it's a lot of weirdness.
So here's the problem with that, right? The problem with that is how it is used. That's really what it is, right? There are guidelines. Like I just said, if the police department is surveilling you, then they have to have, okay, probable cause to do so.
Correct.
Okay. So, that's then protecting your civil rights. Okay. And your rights against illegal search and seizure. So So that's important, right? That's important. But if you are standing on public property, you're allowed to photograph anything.
Mm-hmm.
So now the question is, well, now I'm up in the air. It's still public. Yes, it is. It's public airspace. Okay. So is there a law on the books before drones came out that I couldn't fly by in a helicopter and hang out the window with a camera and shoot all the houses on this block? No, there was no law.
Right.
It only came out because of drones. Therefore, it was restrictive. Okay. And it was overreaching. And yes, as long as it's public airspace, can you fly over a military base and take photos? No, you can't. Why? Because the airspace over a military base is restricted. There's a difference there. Okay. So, you know, it's getting sorted out in the courts, and the district, U.S. District Court judge threw it out.
Okay.
Throughout the petition by the state to throw out the news agency's lawsuit. So the lawsuit now from the news agencies will go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, recovery drone. We have, you know, news entities all over our country are trying to use these, and it's understandable. You don't think about it. You know, provides a nice point of view, a great vantage point, right? It's a lot cheaper than putting a helicopter crew up.
True.
It's a lot safer than putting a helicopter crew up. Hey, how many videos have we all watched of chases? And I'm not talking about the OJ 10-mile-an-hour chase in the Bronco. I'm talking about, you know, constant high-speed chases, California Highway Patrol, and, you know, helicopter up in the air. Ooh, whoa, and then and within, you know, I saw one not too long ago where they're filming the cars, you know, the car being chased on the pursuit. And all of a sudden, here's another helicopter passes like right in front of that helicopter. Man, if we did that with drones, they start screaming, right? Okay. I really think it's a lot safer to put up a couple of Phantom 4s. Okay. God forbid they collide with each other. It probably won't even make the news. But you put up a few helicopters and they get in each other's way. It's a different kind of news story.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot of news story because now you could have deaths, you could have a lot of damage.
Yeah. So Lake Pilot says he thinks restricting state and national parks is wrong. I think I got mixed feelings on that one. I think a complete ban across the entire property, yes, I think that is wrong. But there needs to be places where it is banned. There, you know, look, I fly a lot out in southern Nevada region, and I fly at Red Rock Canyon, which is it's not a national park, it's a national recreational area. You still have to pay to get in, you know, card and all. But I am allowed to fly there, but not everywhere there. Okay, because there are some wildlife refuge areas that you shouldn't be flying in, because you'll really upset the eco balance. Yeah. And also there's other places. You're there for different reasons, right? You know, I don't want to be taking in the scenery and really getting lost in it all. And all of a sudden here comes, you know, a Mavic Air 2 flying by me. Okay. So, you know,
I was going to say
it doesn't belong everywhere. You know, we have to show some restraint ourselves. Okay. But yeah, I believe there should be certain places where you can get a great vantage and you're allowed to fly here. And, you know, here's the, you know, airspace, allowable airspace. Yeah. Okay.
At a certain time.
Yeah. Can I be outside a national park and fly over? Yeah, you can try. But nowadays, if you have any firmware that's recent to the last year or two, that's going to wind up being restricted airspace. Okay. Not all of them. A good portion of them. Now, I always suggest before you go, do a little research. Find out. Go on the sites. Check out the parks. You might find out that you can fly in some of these locations. There are some national monuments, some recreational areas, and there's a few national parks that do have areas to fly.
Mhm.
You got to do the research.
Well, I don't know. I've checked on Kitty Hawk at State Park,
Yeah.
and there are no restrictions. What Kitty Hawk actually says is that it gives you the airspace, but then in the notes it'll tell you that there may be restrictions on drones.
Yes. Now, in New York State, you cannot fly
For the state
in
park.
state parks. You can fly over a state park because the air over most state parks, with few exceptions, a few of them down by us, Class G airspace.
Right.
Okay. Now, depending on the size of the state park, you might not get to that vantage point you were looking for, or you might get there but not get successfully back. Okay, that's always a problem
Well,
too.
like the ones
Okay.
upstate, you know how high those trees are that you have to fly up and over.
Well, it's always a good idea to judge those things before you put the aircraft up in the sky. Okay, not do because my return to home altitude was improperly set. Okay, remember, if you're taking off from 600 feet above sea level,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to fly over a ridge that's 1,000 feet above sea level,
Mm-hmm.
and the tree might be 50 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't think your 200-foot return to home altitude is going to cut it for you.
No.
Okay. Nah, because after you go over that ridge, it's not going to remember there is a ridge. Okay, so
Well, if you got the sensors on, it'll be all right.
yeah, it'll be okay. It'll shuck and jive for a while. You just have to hope you got enough battery to do the dance. That's all.
Well,
Okay.
no, the thing what I was saying is that, like, I know a few of our state parks here that I've been to. When you look at them from the outside of the state park, all you see is those woods right there is the state park. So yeah, I can stay outside and fly over it, but I gotta fly up and over all those trees to
Up
see
and
what I
over,
can't
and
see.
yeah, and depending on what frequency you're transmitting on, right? If you're on 5.8, how far are you going to get through those trees? 2.4, you'll do a little
To the
better.
top of the
But
trees.
well, also, do you have line of sight? No. So, for legal reasons, we won't discuss.
Yeah.
Making that a legal
It gets
flight.
a little dangerous.
Yeah. But look, there are places. JSK just said, you got to apply for permits. Look, there's a bunch of parks out in Suffolk County. There's a bunch of parks in Nassau County. You can go get a permit for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like it's $8 if you're a resident of the county, or it might be 12 if you're not, kind of thing, or you can get an annual pass. But still, along the beaches, you can't fly between Memorial Day and Labor Day. These are things you can check out. All state parks have websites.
Yeah, that's what the state parks here will tell you when you call Bear Mountain and you get that lady. You have to send her a letter in writing, and with the form to request permission to fly, and that's what she will tell you is if your operation is going to be set up between Labor Day and Memorial Day weekend, they'll grant you a permit provided you have all your ducks in a row.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll require certain things. Okay, now it's also your perseverance. Do you follow through? Okay, so if you are going to file for a permit, research what's required to successfully file a permit. Okay, filing one and actually getting an approval, two different things.
Yeah.
Some locations might require that you carry a certificate of insurance. You can satisfy those requirements today. It's not as hard as it used to be. Remember starting out as a photographer trying to get a certificate of insurance. I thought I had to give away the farm. Nowadays, it's easy. There are some sites. Eddie, that's a this is a Dunkel. Okay, good German Bavarian Dunkel. Nice and dark. But you have to Go on a site like Skywatch, or there's a couple of different Verifly. You can get a certificate of insurance now from those on-demand insurance companies. You can, of course, you can actually schedule the flight to be in advance, so you can get a certificate of insurance. Okay, so there are different requirements. Some require it, some don't. You know, there's a few different ways to go with that, but you got to follow through. You got to make sure you do your research, you know, and go from there. I always, you know, I'll try to, I kind of copy up the the FAA sectional maps on two major regions. You know, I fly, I said, in the Southwest of the U.S. and in the Northeast of the U.S. So, you know, I have the New York sectionals. I have the Las Vegas sectionals. So I always look at those. I consult those. And then I look at the areas I'm going to fly. I see if they're within state jurisdiction, city jurisdiction, or federal, and then I go from there. And, you know, I mean, and then I do things like, then I Google Earth, I Google Map. You know, I put together my own little package, because when I go out there, especially if you're trekking out, you know, if you're doing hiking out there to get your shots, you want to get your shots. So do your research. You know, that's how you're successful.
I'm definitely taking my drone out there the next time I go.
Absolutely. You go wrong otherwise. I mean, I happened upon a spot going down I-15 headed towards the California border. There's an old abandoned water park. They thought it was going to be the best thing. Let's build a water park out in the Mojave Desert. Yeah. You got to keep water in it. That's the only problem, right? And it was a big thing in the late 50s, early 60s, and 70s. It started to go downhill. But man, you got an FPV drone. That's a blast of a place to go fly.
You know what that reminds me of? The soccer stadium built out there in the rainforest. And all that humidity.
You actually got to get fans to it to enjoy it. Right?
Humidity, yeah. You literally got to pump mist on the people.
By that time, the field is soggy, and it's more like water polo they're playing, right? You know? But there are places. You know, that's the one great thing about this country. And those of you that aren't in the country, come visit after COVID. There are amazing places throughout there. Just the landscape across this country is just so diverse.
A big place.
There's so many places to check out and fly in. And you know what? Yeah, state parks and national parks, yeah, we'd love to fly there. There's so many other places. There's so many, you know, you come out of like the Northeast and you go, people are wall to wall in the Northeast. You start heading out to the Midwest and the Southwest. You could go hours without seeing somebody else. Even a lot of places, days without seeing somebody else, depending on how remote you want to get. There are just spectacular vistas throughout this entire country.
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that. We were talking about Texas and stuff like that. I was out there. My uncle was out in Texas with his family. And when I was a kid, we went out to Texas, and I've been out there a few times. But there's places in Texas you could just drive and drive and drive. I'm like, this is that road that they built and prayed no one broke down.
When you read signs out there, last gas for 60 miles, don't think twice. Okay?
Just get gas.
Get gas. You know, there's some roads out there, man, where here in the Northeast and a lot of places in the country, you crown the road, okay? So that the water, you know, flows off to the sides, right? Well, there's some places in this country, it's so damn dry, they don't crown the road. Now, if you have a really good alignment on your car, that's as close to autopilot as you're going to get, baby. Okay? You drop that baby into cruise control, take those hands off.
And just let it coast.
Watch a movie. But there's some places you can drive so long and not see anybody else. We were coming out of Colorado. We spent the first 3 days in Denver. We were acclimating to the altitude. We were going up into the Rockies, almost 13,000 feet. And then we came down. We were headed into Utah, and we were headed towards Moab, to Arches. We were driving down this route, and it was gorgeous. I mean, just love driving that way. It's just, the vistas are just so gorgeous. And the GPS told us to turn off on this other road. So we turn off. We get off of this clover leaf. There's nothing there. There's not a gas station there. There's not a building there. There's absolutely nothing there. We get on this other road, and it starts to turn to a dirt road. And my wife says, well, how long does the GPS say we're going to be on this road? And I said, about an hour and a half. She's like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable with this.
Right.
So now we hadn't seen anybody on that Interstate 70 in like 3 hours. So we turned around, we went back on 70, and we're starting I'm thinking about continuing heading west, but I turn off and I'm looking at the GPS. All of a sudden, there's Utah State Police right behind us. Two guys get out of the car, they come up, they talk to us. I said to them, where the hell did you guys come from? We haven't seen anybody in hours. And he said, well, we're pretty good at that. Okay. And he goes, he goes, you guys okay? You broken down? I said, no, we just turned off on this road over here, thinking we were going to go that way. He goes, where you headed? I said, Arches. And he goes, well, no, stay on 70. It just takes about an hour longer. And I go, well, what about that other road? It turned to dirt road. He goes, yeah, we haven't patrolled that road in about 12 years. Okay. But you got places all over this country that are like that almost seem like they're still unexplored.
They haven't been up that road in 12 years.
They haven't patrolled that road in 12 years. Yeah. Okay. Once my wife lost a cell connection, it was like, no, you're turning around. You're turning around. Okay.
Remember the days when they didn't have the cell phone?
Days we didn't have GPS. Remember how many arguments we get into in the car? Just ask for directions, damn it.
Just ask for directions. I got the map.
Yeah. Yeah, that always worked out, right?
My father refuses.
AAA triptychs.
Refuses to turn the GPS on. Refuses. He refuses. We were going somewhere, and he actually pulled out. Now, remember you were talking about working South Bronx? My father has these maps back from when he used to work traffic, doing the traffic lights down in the South Bronx. And I'm like, they've added streets since then.
Since then, yeah.
Stop, please. So one day he's in the car with me and he says to me, we going. I'm like, GPS says to cut off here. He goes, no, so stay on the road. See, I'd have got there quicker than that thing. You wouldn't.
Right? No,
you wouldn't.
No, exactly. I used to, when I would like work overtime in the field, I was an overtime hound in the early days. And one place I wouldn't work is Staten Island because they kept making new streets, man. And we had a Hagstrom map, a laminated Hagstrom map, right? Okay. Well, that didn't change. Okay. You'd go to turn someplace and it's like, well, wait a second, where'd the road go? Okay. There's like just 2 bucket trucks there now. And it's like, no, what happened to the road? GPS takes the stress out of it.
GPS through Staten Island would make it seem like you're hopping through people's backyards to get to some spot. It takes you on some crazy look.
Well, that's because there's no easy way to get through. That's because there's no reason to go to Staten Island, dude. Do you understand that? Okay. Where's Lawrence? We need one of those disclaimers, right? Okay.
I used to work out there, and just going over by the stadium where the Yankee, well, what used to be the Yankees farm, one of their farm systems.
Yeah, yeah.
Right over there. You would figure straight down Bay Street, right? No. GPS would take you around about, get off on that exit, go through there, come around, and to bring you out down to some little side street right next to the court buildings.
Well, just maneuvering around the city is problematic for people. You got people who come to Queens because in Queens, we have the same address for 5 different places. Okay. Mm-hmm. It just matters whether it's a drive, a street, a lane, a road, okay, a place, but they could be an address. And all you got to do is get that last part wrong. Man, you're in a completely different neighborhood. Okay?
Oh yeah, because you're at a different cross street.
Yeah.
You got
like me over here. I'm at 68th Place and 68th Street. Okay. And then there's a 68 Drive just a couple blocks away that has nothing to do with where we are. I mean, it's a crapshoot for mail, that's for sure. Okay.
Oh, no, you just gotta know. The mailman should know by now.
Yeah, you would hope.
It's the guy that sends it to the right post office in Queens is the guy who's the scoffer.
Stevie, how
What's
are
going
you?
on? Same
Man of mystery, man of controversy, Stevie, Capture Life Connection. Bronx.
Am I supposed to just? I'm very
how
good.
Are you, bro?
And
good,
as far as
good.
controversy, am I supposed to put a picture and just put bridge from now on?
Dude,
Building.
That's all. Dude, your mistake is labeling anything these days because we know labels hurt. Okay.
Hey, I call it for what it was.
Well, for those of you that don't know, we've recently had some controversy. There's a bunch of us that are trying to enjoy drones, trying to enjoy the passion, the hobby. Okay. And there are other people who want to turn things into more than what they are. And exactly. I think, Stevie, we got to leave it at that because we're not.
We'll leave it alone.
We're not looking to deep six anybody. Okay. No, we're not looking to deep six anybody. We're just like, come on, people, you got to get woke. You got to realize that there's, look, if you're playing a part, play the part. You can't be both things. You can't profess to me something, but you act some way else. Double standards, that's a problem in life today anyway. So when it comes to drone sites, I'm on a site because of drones. I'm not on a site because of my political views, my religious views, or anything else. There are other groups for that. So if that's what you're into, go for that. I bet you there's other streams, Herman, like this, where right now we're going over Bible verses, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm not putting anybody down for that. If that's your thing, it's your thing. I mean, God bless you. Okay.
Or even the He-Man Women Haters Club.
Whatever it might be, you're into street rods, you're into, muscle cars, you're into needlepoint. There's sites for that. Okay. Oh, yeah. But if you go to a needlepoint site, you don't want somebody touting their political or religious views to you. And when I go to a drone site, I want to see cool shit like Stevie posted, man. Stevie, that image was fantastic. Just the balance of that image, the leading lines of the bridge. I mean, you brought me through. That's what I love about photography. When somebody like Stevie, he gets it right so often. It's where you bring me right into it, Stevie. You take me for a little trip into the image. So that was a fantastic image you posted.
Thank you.
Really top notch, bro.
Yeah, I flew that morning, and I met up with one of the guys, and we flew that morning. And luckily, I had one battery left, and I was doing errands. When you go flying and you have a young family like mine, you pretty much dedicate the rest of the day. If you sacrifice the morning, the rest of the day
you're slipping it in, man.
So I had to do some errands afterwards, and I was still back and forth. And I happened to be still running around when that sun was setting. And when I saw that sky, I just had to find a nice place to launch. And the reason why I had that distance is because I had to keep the drone, of course, in line of sight. So I couldn't get any closer. So all I did was work with what I had. That was the furthest I could get with the drone in sight. So I started messing with the angles, and I took a couple of shots. Yeah. but the one I shared was the one that I favored, you know. And like we always talk about, don't put everything out there. Just find the one that you find that you like, because it's your art,
the shot
right?
that turns you on is usually the winner, man.
Yeah. So, you know, everybody that takes drone videos and pictures, you know, I always tell them that post what you like, post what you what you find, because it's your
that's a
art.
Good point.
Don't go by what somebody else captured or the angle somebody else captured. Even though you might like that angle, it's your art. So how are you going to present it? You know, you present what you liked. So that was the best. That was the shot that I enjoyed the most when I reviewed them all. But I caught a few, and I try to go that different. I try to go as far as I could, but you know, I'm trying to keep an eye on the bird, and I'm looking at the screen, and I'm doing all that game, you know. But that was the best angle, I believe.
My recommendation to people is impress yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, impress yourself. Find that shot that it even impresses you, and then share it with the rest of us.
Yeah.
But
okay, because we'll probably be impressed also.
But I find myself now looking at the shot that would make someone else least likely to cry.
And that's the evil of the problems we face in some of these groups, right?
No, but it's listen, Tom, look, before you go into
criticism is a wonderful thing.
Right.
But it has to be constructive. It can't be done with ill will. It's not the premise here. I mean, you know, and then there'll be a group of people who are self-impressed that they can put you down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can find fault with what you do. If that's the case, you know,
I don't mind that. We put ourselves into that once we put ourselves out there. What I'm saying is like, you know, there was a time where I would put something out, and then you get look at where he is. This guy is, and I'm like, you know what? Let me not put those kind of shots out. Let me not try to take those shots.
But that's one thing. All right, if you don't want to present a shot on a different group, but the thing about the controversy behind this silly situation, this picture that I took, it was just the labeling of the picture, but the picture was labeled correctly. Mm-hmm. My thing is that the people that the guy who started the group, I'm not going to go into any names, made it very clear not to be going these directions with the political stuff, right? And it's different if there's 2 or 3 names for the thing and I chose the name because whatever I favored. It is the name. That's it. Bottom line. It's the name.
They tore down the other bridge, right?
Yeah, Stevie? It's the name of the structure. So, and it was nothing like I was hailing the name of the structure or anything. I just put the name of the structure and say something about the picture, and that was it.
Documentarian,
And out of the blue, I get all this extra stuff about changing the name and you should change the title or whatever. I'm like, really, like, and you know, if you look into it, even like A-list comedians, if you look at some of the complaints they have now, it's like everybody's so sensitive about everything. You can't even crack a joke about anything. It's not the Richard Pryor days anymore, you know? Like,
well, you
have to watch everything you say, watch everything you do. You know, you should be able to just post your work.
Or you got to stand by it.
Yeah, but
and that's part of the problem.
I can understand. I can understand if it was a different group that doesn't make it clear. That doesn't make it clear. Like there's certain groups that it's open game, you know, like they don't care if you talk politics. They don't care if you talk religion. They don't care. It's just one of those groups. But this particular group stresses the fact that it's all about drone enthusiast content. They stress the fact.
But that's actually the intent of the group, right? That's what it should be.
But then people that are a part of the administration or whatever you want to call the back end are the ones that are putting fuel to the fire. Well, and, you know, I think it's funny. I don't get upset. Because I meet with these people and we joke around and I push buttons sometimes in person. Like, you know, we joke around and everything. So I don't take anything from it. You know what I mean? Like you saw what I was commenting back and forth. I just made it very clear why I did it and whatever. and I kept it moving. You know,
I don't have a problem with anybody's point of view. I don't give a shit. I'm not your keeper, but I do have a problem with double standards.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't tell me this is not permissible, and then do it.
Brent Ariels, Lawrence he's okay. He's you know, like I said before earlier in the show, he him and his family, him and his wife, they both contracted COVID, and you know, they're both recovering. They're isolated. They're doing fine. I spoke to him just before the show, and he wanted me to tell everybody he's doing good. He sounds a lot better than he did, you know, last week. So with all is good, you know, his wife will be home. You know, she was in the hospital. Everybody's doing good. You know, his daughter's home. She's fine. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, you keep him in your thoughts, keep his family in your thoughts, and just remember how real this is. So, you know, but look, it's you go someplace because you want to enjoy it. If somebody takes that enjoyment out of it, then you won't go to that place anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's sad because then there's a loss of community, and that none of us wants to see happen because, you know, a bunch of us, it's forced some of the people in the chat right now. It's forced a couple of those people to leave. Okay, and that's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had good times with this group, and we want to continue to have good times. We just don't want to be told one thing and, you know, sold something else. It's like, come on, just we're here to enjoy it. And again, Stevie, not to take away, man, that was some shot. So
thank you. I mean, like I said, I think everything kind of simmered down, and thank you, Matt, for your contributions. I know you were defending everybody as well. He was standing on the right.
In there.
They were standing for you know, it was just facts over fiction. You know, like you're saying one thing, and you know, just
Jerome even.
Yeah,
I think Jerome had a shot. I think Jerome had a shot of both the Tappan Zee and the Cuomo Bridge together.
He had a shot of the Tappan Zee being exploding.
Just a few minutes. Was still in the Tappan Zee.
But the thing is that your action got to match your word, right?
That's all.
So and sometimes your action don't match your word, and then that's when Matt and everybody else started getting involved because the action wasn't matching the word. They were saying no, and I think this way, and they weren't. But bottom line is, this happened multiple times, and I hope eventually it's taken care of because, like you said, it's a great community, and like I was saying in the last video I made, we need to get back to focusing on what we have in common, like this passion for the drones and the pictures and the photos and everything that comes with being involved in the drone community, you know, because it gets bigger, right? You get into drones, but then you got to kind of force yourself to learn how to edit video now, right? And then you start to, so it keeps moving. It's like it snowballs. So all of that has to do with the drones is what we should be focusing on. Because if we get so caught up in the politics and all this other stuff, everybody's gonna have their own views, and I respect them. Yeah, I listen to them and I respect those views. I don't tell anybody what they should be doing because I'm not paying their bills. I'm not involved in their rent. I'm not involved with their upbringing of their children. What you want to believe is fine. Like I said, I've been in these circles many times, and I don't believe whatever you want. Let's get back to enjoying each other's photos, enjoying each other's videos, helping each other out, and things of that nature, you know. And I don't want to speak it. You can see I'm living it because I didn't get involved with that hatred that was coming through on some of those comments. You know, I was just like, this is what it is. This is how I feel. Yeah. And I kept it moving. You know, like I don't even have time to be.
And Stevie, I think it was I think they were just misinformed. Like I said, it's not like the Triborough Bridge in New York City that they renamed to the RFK, or we have the 59th Street Queensboro Bridge that they renamed to the Ed Koch. They actually blew up the Tappan Zee.
Yeah, it's gone.
So,
and that's what my friend
difference there.
We were talking. We was like, you might have to go to the city dump to do some orbits on the Tappan Zee Bridge because that's where most of it is at.
All you gotta do is wait for the new influx of stuff coming in made out of metal from China and Japan.
Yeah. Or it'll be in there.
That's where it'll be.
Or
Scrap
get those
metal.
drones for the water and get under the Hudson and see what's left under there. Because some of it's under there. They exploded some of it.
Enjoy it for what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we hear about. We're here to enjoy it. I mean,
No,
we're here
it's
to
all good.
enjoy
It's all
this
good.
hobby, share it as a community. And we are. I mean, for the most part.
No, it
It's a
doesn't
great
happen that
community.
often. It doesn't happen that
No,
often.
but when it does, you want to smack it right away and say, go back. Stop. Enough already. We've been there. We've done that. It's like I said, it's caused some people to leave the group, and that's sad.
Yeah,
You know? And when, you know, somebody comes out and says, hey, I don't want to see images of this or that, you know, and he just posted something in the chat, you know, what happens is people in the group, okay, they're a classic bunch. They're a band of instigators. You got to love them. Because when somebody says don't put up an image of the BLM mural,
oh, that's what happened
the
with
next
Eddie.
thing you know is going to be everybody who took a shot of a BLM mural somewhere in the world is then going to post it.
Yeah.
So be careful what you ask for. Okay. We share a passion. Okay. We are a bunch of big kids with toys. We enjoy them immensely. We get passionate about them.
Yeah.
But keep it to the hobby.
Yeah, it shouldn't get like a junior high school lunchroom.
Take you out in the schoolyard, kick your ass.
It shouldn't be trying to diss each other in the lunchroom, you know, like while you're waiting to get your murder burger.
Yeah, and again, I've said this before. I'm nobody's keeper. Okay, whatever you want to do, you do. Just understand there are consequences to what you do.
Yeah.
But when they happen, if you do suffer consequences, it's not me. I have nothing to do with it. I'm not your keeper. So if that's what you want to fly, that's where you want to fly, that's what you want to do, or that's what you want to say, it's no reflection on me.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all good.
Up, Steve.
Ray's back.
Hey, Ray. What's up? Yeah, I saw him
Ray's
earlier.
back. What, you put some more salt out there, Ray?
Nah, I had to go put some salt in my stomach.
Yeah, I hear that.
You know, about 6 o'clock in the morning, then shoveling 3 people's buildings and mines for these old ladies. I was starving like Marvin, man. So, but it's coming down.
Yeah, we got a good covering out there already.
Yes, sir.
You think it's gonna be still blowing crazy in the morning?
Well,
I think you're probably going to have winds until late morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Damn.
Well, you know, look, what are you flying? FPV? No, right? So.
Yeah, but I seen the Mavic Air 2 get hit with a leaf blower. You might have to just bump up the shutter speed and just do photos, no video.
Yeah. All right.
Look at Herman.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Right. With the Mini.
The Mini, that'd be gone. That'd be in Jersey.
Yeah, you just gave some new kid a gift for Christmas.
You jump in the Uber to Hoboken.
What you gotta do is just take pictures of what's in front of it.
You have to press that Find My Drone when you get to Hoboken.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, you ain't playing with that.
No,
those winds are gonna be.
Mini, that.
It'll come back.
Hey, we got to put out an APB for Anthony Charles. He's probably out there playing in the snow right now.
I already seen the post on Facebook with them going back and forth talking about it.
He's already excited, right? He's like a little kid.
But yeah,
he's got his one piece snowsuit on. He's ready.
Wow. But when you said one piece snowsuit, it only reminds me of the big joint that Xavier got.
Oh, the neon joint?
Like, yeah, we can't be inconspicuous with you within 10 miles of us, okay?
Yeah.
He was like an orange traffic cone.
I missed that meetup, but I think my eyes appreciate it.
Get shot or the get shot suit on.
Yeah.
Like if there was a sniper, you would know because they would hit him first.
Yeah. And it wasn't even cold out there. That's the problem.
That was just for sighting purposes. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
I'm here.
So you can see his drone when he's coming back. So he can land.
He could see his orange suit from across the river.
Yeah, that's what it's
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's better than Return to Home.
But now he got the Evo 2 Pro, so he matches that. He got the orange
so it
pumpkin.
matches now,
yeah,
right?
You won't even see it next to him.
Wait. How much you want to bet in the next video? That's exactly what you see.
In the snow video with the orange pumpkin?
Yeah. I just hope I don't have to sign on to Patreon to see it.
Who said the orange pumpkin?
Me.
That's my thing, baby.
It looked like a Halloween special.
Yeah, man. Yo, even that new Evo with that dome on the top. What's up with that?
Oh, I haven't looked into. Man, this week has been crazy.
The top hat.
Yeah.
That's how
we talking about the new.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's how it is, man. That's how it works. Even the Phantom, Phantom 4 RTK, right? But also the new Mavic Enterprise 2 has a top hat.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that thing you can program up to 240 waypoints in that bad boy. Okay. So and you're talking about centimeter level accuracy.
Tom, they saw the same article.
What's the battery life though?
No, I already did some inquiries about procurement. Okay.
But they saw the same article. The rejection on the Chinese drone ban. Drone ban.
Tom, how long is that thing stay in the sky?
Still, you got about a 30-minute range on it as far as duration. I mean, I think the battery's rated to 30 plus minutes.
Okay.
But honestly, with you throw the top hat on it, or if you throw the lights on it, you're going to be eating up some battery time. They did improve the resolution on the thermal imaging. Side of the fence. But that RTK module, that's a big one.
Right. Yeah.
For seeing size up purposes, if they can get in there with that real quick, and then you can output that to Pix4D React in like no time, you got yourself a full ortho and 3D of your scene. So
and you're accurate on that.
With
the RTK.
So it's good to see that they've advanced the product line a little. Now, like we said before, now with the National Defense Authorization Act stripping out the inability to buy these, maybe we can get some product in the hands of some public safety providers, fire services and all.
What's that going for now?
Well, that's probably gonna. The thing is when the Mavic ED came out, it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
You're talking about
people bought one
around $4,000. Well, Paul bought one, but then again, it's just.
Well,
I think he thought he was buying another Inspire.
That doesn't really matter because Paul's going to buy one of anything.
Yeah.
If DJI puts it out, Paul will get it.
Yeah, so this is enterprise level. I mean, you really want to buy it with all the accessories, including the speaker and the lights, and because if you don't have the speaker, you can't become the volunteer drone task force and warn people that they're getting too close to each other. So if you're looking for a side gig, you can get a side gig out there doing that. Roadside announcer.
You mean even though I hired myself?
Carnival Barker. Huh?
Even if I hire myself?
Hire yourself to narrate. Instead of Herman on screen, the drone is there with the speaker.
It's a great idea, but hey.
I'll see you next time.
Imagine that. That thing just pull up at a drone meetup on the way out. See you next time at a drone meetup.
Don't give me no idea.
That's right.
That's the only way to leave, bro. That'll be official.
That's it, man.
Every time you go to a meetup, you just have that thing go up while you're at the car. And I'll see you next time. And then pull out.
But Tom, this next story is right up your alley, and it's a story from it hits home. The Air Force, they have an autonomous drone-based security system Easy Aerial is the autonomous drone based solution that they're working with. And it's the 60th Air Mobility Wing, 60th Security Force, in conjunction with Easy Aerial, which has a commercial platform for autonomous drone base solutions for security. Now, we spoke on them before, and the reason why I say it hits home is that this company actually is right here in Brooklyn, right in the Navy Yard.
Right in the Navy Yard, baby.
And they actually did security at the Super Bowl.
Oh, nice.
And now they're working with the Air Force.
So the best analogy I can make is this is the junkyard dog of modern times. Okay? That's exactly what the solution is. So something, think about a large military base. You got to maintain perimeter security at all times, right? There's bad actors out there. So what can happen, though, of course, is the fact that there are routines that are followed. No matter how hard you try to change those things up, people can surveil the perimeter for a while and see that, the watch or the Air Force police circle every 20 minutes. So that gives them 18 minutes to do their bad work, right? Well, here you have the classic junkyard dog that hears the sound, reacts to the sound, and goes out and checks it out and takes a bite out of their ass if necessary. But here you got perimeter security is breached. This drone automatically will launch, head over, identify, okay? So that when they show up on scene, okay, the rapid response team shows up on scene, they already know what they're dealing with and they know how to react, okay? It's a junkyard dog, man. That's exactly what it is.
GYD.
Well, from what I was checking out, I saw the video, I read the article. Basically, they got one step before the men on the ground, and it's able to, it's able to let them know what to expect when they get there.
Well, what's pretty significant about this is the fact that this is an extension of what's already happening also in the public sector. Mm-hmm. There's a police department in California, and I forget which one specific. It might be Chula Vista, which is actually using these things for 911 calls. Okay, before an officer arrives on scene, if it's a high priority incident, the drone lifts up from the local police station, flies over to eyeball it, and then this way they can provide a live feed video to the arriving resources on scene. So very similar in its approach. And again, this is exactly what's needed at sensitive locations throughout the country.
And Percepto is doing something like this too.
Exactly. Remember, we talked about that. And the oil refineries, okay, industrial sites, large corporate centers. It makes sense to have these things as your first line.
Yeah, risk management.
Your eyes and ears.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
You'd be surprised. They could actually be up there. You could be up to no good. This thing is up there, and it'll have security on you wherever you're trying to go before you get there.
Yeah. So think about it, right? We talked about risk benefit. It's also cost benefit. Think about this from a corporate standpoint. I can put one of these things up. It can go find the problem right away. It can put itself in harm's way. I lessen my liability because I don't have to hire another square badge, okay, that could possibly get hurt and then cause me a great deal of liability down the road.
Yep.
And besides the potential of that bad actor breaking into premise, right? So
and
those things it becomes a no-brainer that's a cost-effective way to deal with it.
It's a huge difference from putting a human, and then you have to, even if nothing happens, you have to insure this project, right? The insurance alone to get somebody to take this risk. So it's a huge difference in cost to put a piece of plastic with some mechanics up there in a drone you know, to check out what's going on. Yes, 100%.
Well, it's just like
big difference
on the defense agency side of the fence. And remember, when we talk about that, we're really talking about DARPA. Okay. They're the same people that we can pull all this stuff off that we're doing right now with the internet and all. They built the internet. Okay. DARPA is behind a lot of this stuff. And this stuff gets out into the private sector because you got to get companies to build this technology. But this is the kind of stuff that will save servicemen's lives. Okay. Also, because this is also the stuff that's being, we talked about it like a week and a half ago. You know, this is the kind of stuff that can help, you know, division size and battalion size infantry troops, you know, forward air base. You turn around and you have a couple of these stationed so that if there's anybody within vicinity that hits a tripwire, then one of these things is going up in the air and taking a look. You know, and getting an alert out before, you know, our servicemen are impacted or ambushed, right? You know, these are already being used. I mean, IEDs for, I got a friend that's in the improvised explosive device defeat community. Okay.
Okay.
And they've been using drones for a while. Okay, especially with the Navy. The Navy, by the way, if people don't realize, are the ones that usually handle the demolition of explosives, even in country like Afghanistan. A lot of those guys in those fatigues are Navy petty officers that do EOD work, and so they were working with them and Marines to use drones. So in front of the convoy, you have a drone that's, you know, a mile to take out your squad as you go by. Now they've identified it and they can approach it differently. They can also keep eyes on the bad guys. Okay. So not only can they go and defeat the explosive device, but they can also go and get those bad actors who planted it and hopefully stop them from planting another one in the future.
Yeah. My younger brother, his close friend, has been flying drones for years for the military. For years. I mean, before I was even flying a drone, he used to tell me stories, you know, when he'd come visit New York. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Another thing is that means they could put stuff into play in New York City, not now, but later on. You know that system they have for shots fired? When
exactly.
It picks up on shots?
Yes.
Imagine the shots fired would go off and the drone would detach and head to the location.
That's exactly what they do with it.
And start scanning. And then the police cars could come out and they already know, you know, location and what's going on. They got an eye in the sky.
That'll happen
basically.
a lot quicker everywhere else but here, Stevie.
Right.
Okay.
Because
there are some civil liberty issues that will have to be fought through. Okay. So, you know, that is like exactly how the technology should be used.
The cop cars, right now, they run crazy at 4th of July. They don't know what a shot is from a fireworks. You guys see these cars going crazy.
Yeah, it's a tough situation.
Depending on what part of the city, I would more bet that is a gunshot.
yeah. Because you know what?
But that's the same area where the fireworks are heavy too all day.
Well, let's be real.
There's no big colors in the sky in certain parts of the Bronx.
Let's be real. The guns are easier to get than the fireworks. Okay.
Yeah. You could get a 22 faster than a pack of firecrackers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A 22 and bath salts, and you're in business, right? I mean, come on. Only in New York.
Only.
Good. Thank goodness. Okay.
New York and Chicago.
Same time. Yeah.
So there was one thing, Herman. If you can throw out the link to that Pocket Lint site, the site with the drone shots on it that I sent you, that's something I would just say for some inspiration in our waning minutes here on tonight's podcast. That there's a site out there that had a good number of great drone shots. And I think about there's a group I belong to. I think a couple of you guys are in the group too, called Freedom Drones.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Tony Balsimo, great guy, U.S. service member over in the UK. He runs that site, and he has, what is it? Top Down Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I think, Stevie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So on this site, there's a lot of great top down shots. There was one in particular, Herman, if you're able to put it up. I don't know if you're able to put it up or not, but if Herman can put up the link, at least you guys can check it out after the podcast. After, of course, you click the like button. If you don't click the like button, don't look at that site, okay? But no, it's there was one where it was right over a lion, and to see the lion that way was pretty freaking awesome. And there's some spectacular shots, and just what I get a real charge out of is patterns, different patterns, like a field of crops, okay, but the cultivator has only gone down one line halfway, and look at that from above, and that kind of stuff that juices me up. And this listing of shots has a great number of those. I think you guys would enjoy.
Yeah, and if you do if you join the group, and if you do a top down shot on Tuesday, and you tag it, he will select one and make it I think it's the cover picture. I don't know if that's
the cover picture for the site.
He'll make it the cover picture for like the week into the next week, just so you get some shine on that. And he actually posts that you won the cover, so you get more exposure to. It's great community. He got a good thing going on for sure.
Yeah, he's a great photographer.
Oh, he's amazing.
Really spectacular photographer.
Yeah, you see his calendar?
His calendar.
He made a beautiful calendar's gorgeous, man.
Calendar's
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, over in the UK, they got them backdrops over there, man. That's foggy mountains and all that.
You've seen the locations he has access to? It's amazing. That's why I said not to spill bad blood on him. I'd have probably
Herman, you put up the wrong link, Herman.
Flying over the river like that,
link? Okay, let me see.
Yeah,
he lost his drone like that, but the shots is crazy, bro.
He knows what he's doing. He knows how to do the settings.
Yeah.
He knows how to frame his shots. You could tell. He could tell. I'd never seen a bad shot, man. And he's like what Tom said. He's very selective. I'm sure he took a bunch of shots and he picks the ones that he.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does a lot of stitching. He takes like multiple shots and stitch them all together. That's his trade, Yeah.
Hey, Drone Fox Ireland. See you in the chat. I was watching his video yesterday. So a lot of guys. I'm so happy to see people releasing videos. I try to follow as many people as possible.
Right. Right.
And I'm glad that the world is upside down right now, as far as being normal. And I'm glad to see that people are still out there creating, at least flying and putting stuff out there, That's why I try to support as much as possible. I don't always have the time to watch everything. And when I watch your videos, I'll watch it all the way through.
Right.
Because I want you to get those analytics and stuff in the background, because YouTube is following everything. If you bail out the first 5 seconds, they know, so if I hit a like, that means I watched the whole video all the way to the end. And if I leave a comment, same thing. That means I watched your video all the way to the end. I'm not one of those guys that watch the 2 seconds and put a like, a comment, and move to the next video. No.
Give you a heart and move on.
Yeah, because I want them to not only get the like and the comment, but I want them to get those analytics in the back end that somebody actually watched the whole video.
You got a lot of
that matters. That matters.
I threw the link up, Herman, so it's up there if anybody wants to check out those images. So
yeah. So Jerome is big with that top down shot.
Yeah, Jerome takes some great stuff, man. Yeah, there's some great shots.
He finds those, like what you were saying, those angles,
the texture,
the patterns, the patterns,
the natural patterns and things. Right.
Yeah, so I fly a lot with him, and he always he shows me stuff. I like flying with him.
Yeah.
Then I gotta start taking more top down shots. I've been doing more lately. I actually shared my first top down shot on Freedom Jones like 2 weeks ago, and Tony gave me some props on it. I got the cover for that one.
Yeah, nice. He monitors his page, man. So you put up, he gonna shout you out for sure.
Yeah. Nah, he has a good community. He definitely has.
No, and that's the thing. It's it's constructive. It's supportive.
Super supportive. Yeah.
You don't get
that's another one for you.
What are you looking for? I mean, that's what it is. That's what you're looking for.
No, the one about the chart you were talking about.
Oh, that was from a week ago, right? I had sent it to you guys in Messenger. So, but if we don't get it up this time, we'll get it up the next time for everybody. Okay. I'm getting older, so I get trouble getting it up. I'm looking at that.
I'm about to say that's what she said, right?
That's what she said. They make shit for that now, man. What do they call it? Better living through chemistry? What do they call it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It gets to the point you got to make sure you take the right pills at the right time. Okay. So.
No.
Yeah, we're getting close, baby.
Yeah. You heard that, baby?
Yeah.
Be careful.
She back there air hustling and shit, so I want to make sure she hear you air hustling. You hear it?
You're air hustling.
Yeah. I always tell that mom, you like air hustling, huh? You gonna hear something.
Hey, Sean. Geeks Vana. That's a great channel
Sean?
right
How
there.
are you, man?
Sean, baby.
Yeah,
That's
definitely check out Sean's site.
He puts a
Especially
lot
if
of
you're
work.
a UK flyer. He just put up some very important information for
Always
you peeps in the UK across the pond. So, with all the new drone regs there. Good to see you, Sean.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about to come up in the next few weeks. Remote IDs.
Yeah. FAA's Christmas present, right?
Christmas present,
The drone pilots. Yeah. They missed Hanukkah. Couldn't even catch, 10 freaking days. Come on, you can at least catch one of them.
New Year's Eve.
And then
we're waiting
watch it.
Waiting to see what's under our Christmas tree. Yep.
Something about to come out after the 15th. Telling you right now.
You know what's going to happen is after Christmas, when you turn on your drone, the first message is going to say, "We know who you are and where you are."
That's right. Don't update your drone. Will not stop.
Hey, is anybody else having this problem? My Mavic Air occasionally starts talking to me in Chinese. I'm not bullshitting either.
Really?
You just did a firmware update?
Did you get yours from Canal Street?
Dude, I was out flying, and all of a sudden it started talking to me in Chinese, and I looked down, but I couldn't. There wasn't a warning message there.
What did it say? Please update.
I don't know.
Long time.
I think I have to brush up on my Cantonese to figure out what
we want you to fly long time.
Yeah, we want you to fly long time. Yeah,
I know. But I'm not shitting you. It's happened twice. I'm not bullshitting. On the controls, looking up at the drone, all of a sudden it starts saying something. I look down like, what the? And then I even went, I go into the profile, I check the menu. I check the menu of the smart. It's on the smart controller, by the way. Smart control. That's the only place it happens, on the smart.
I don't have a smart controller, so I don't know.
Okay. Stevie, what the hell are you doing in this chat? You don't have a smart controller.
I don't have a smart controller.
Didn't we check these credentials before? Really? But it's happened twice, man. I ain't, And so until I learn Cantonese, I don't know what it was saying, Herman. If you're asking me that,
is it saying? What is it saying? Like just as you're taking off, is this like saying?
No. It's happened. It happened once out in Flushing, RC. I'd already certified to fly in the restricted space and all of that, and all of a sudden it's up in the air. I'm about 500 feet out, and I'm looking at the actual drone, okay, and it said something in Chinese, and I looked down at it. There was no message on the screen.
What park you were in when this happened?
That was in Flushing. Okay, yeah, I know. I was right by Flushing. I got that. For those of you that aren't in New York,
that you were looking at the drone.
I'm not going into it for you. I'm not telling you why that was funny. But okay, it also happened to me upstate, buddy. Okay,
it's picking up. It's picking up on the area.
Yeah, exactly. I was on Main Street in Flushing.
In Flushing Park.
Yeah. Hey, next time it happens, I'm just, man, I have to have a camera going next time it happens because none of these believe me.
You got to film the screen. Oh, you
Yeah,
can't. Can you film the screen with that? With the
Yeah, I got a screen record. Yeah, I should be able to. I got to try that.
Can you with the smartphone?
I don't know. Look, I was having trouble with
so.
ActiveTrack.
I don't think
I was having trouble with ActiveTrack the other day. Okay, it really started to piss me off. I said, "Here's a perfect spot." We had gone to Croton Point Park, but I went with the bike, Stevie. Okay. And we went all the way up to the Trade Center Memorial up north there. So we went along this whole path. It was really nice.
Oh, I know you talk about by I think it's called Blue Moon or something.
Yeah.
And you go right by the there's like a dock there with the boats.
There's a dock there.
There's like a little condos there. Yeah. So you go all the way to the end. Yeah, I know
the road. A lot of road heaving right there with the trees, but yeah, we went over there and I was going to throw the drone up. It was funny because there were these two girls and they were jogging and they had this dog they were jogging with. It really looked like a mutt, you know, but he had these dazzling two blue eyes. He was funny. He wasn't on a leash, just a cool dog jogging with them. When they came to the turnaround, we were just sitting on the bench there. I was trying to get the drone ready to put up and the dog saw like a flock of geese in the little water right there. So he veers off the path. He runs right into the water, you know, jumping at them. Man, they took off screaming, right? He comes out of the water. He shakes himself. The two girls laugh. He goes back up with the girls' sluts. The geese come back. They land, and they cursed for like 5 straight minutes, man.
They were yapping it.
It was hilarious. But then I go to put up the drone, and I go, okay, I'm going to do ActiveTrack, right? We're both sitting on our bikes, static target right now, put the target around me, hit ActiveTrack, hit parallel. We start out. The drone turns and looks at me, and that's it. And I'm like, no, okay, come on, start again, try this. 3 times I tried it. I could not get it to follow me. I got to play around with it a little.
The Air 2?
The Air 2, the first time I had a problem with the ActiveTrack, it just wouldn't follow me.
This is the location you went to, right? That memorial?
Yeah.
It's like they had like they had one of the beams from the
Yeah, that's it right there.
I had a few epic Jedi fights with my son there. Right by the water.
It's a great spot right there.
Yeah. I've taken him there and we pulled out the swords and got our Jedi on over there. It's a nice little location.
That's a nice area over there. That we didn't ride too long. It was just like a 10-mile ride altogether, but it was really nice. It was really nice over there.
You know what? I tested out my the first Osmo Pocket there. When the first one that came out, I went there and I did like a hyperlapse around there. I did like a little walking around. But you know, I couldn't really stabilize it in the post work in DaVinci. I couldn't really get it right. I never really mastered hyperlapse on the Pocket when walking. You know, like he's just walking around like you see in the videos on YouTube.
Right.
I really never got a smooth hyperlapse from that. Like something that I would
you would do much better with the action. Yeah, with the Osmo Action. I didn't find. Well, that I mean, when you have it in a static location, it works great. But I haven't found carrying it around. You know, unless you yourself are adept at that catwalk.
I could do the catwalk because I used to do a lot of my vlogging with an iPhone and a gimbal.
Yeah.
So I know the catwalk, the bending of the knees and doing that. But I was trying to do, I seen a couple of YouTubes and they were just straight up walking around monuments in Europe and stuff like that. And it came out so cool. And I tried to reenact that. A little bit of catwalk in it. A little bit. Not all the way, you know, professional. Yeah. I wasn't ninja style, like I was sneaking up on somebody, but
steady cam guy.
Yeah. I find the GoPro Hero 7 an amazing tool because it's rugged.
The Osmo Action, I think, is on par with that, Steve.
Yeah, I never tried the Osmo Action. What was it? The Action?
Action.
But the GoPro Hero 7, you know, since I'm always hiking and going on these little adventures, I could hook it up with the little rig and I could just throw it in the bag. It's built for action, right? It's built to be jumping off a mountain on a ski and stuff like that. Right. And the stabilization is great, you know, and if I get to a place that I want to actually start vlogging or even just capture, I can just pull it out and I don't have to worry about the bouncing and all that other such things that would ruin the video. I find that to be go-to now. Oh, it just got real, Ray.
Yeah, the shit out of me. Wow.
Yeah, I find the Hero to my go-to now. The Osmo Pocket has been on the market. Nobody purchased it, but the Osmo Pocket, I have it, all the accessories and everything I bought with it, all in a bag. And if nobody buys it,
action boy, they got that feature on it called Rocksteady. You talking about stabilization? That action is crazy.
Oh yeah,
the Osmo Action. Yeah. Yeah, the Rocksteady is pretty good.
I have a question.
A lot of use out of that Osmo Pocket.
Yeah, you a big seller of the Pocket.
A lot of use of the Osmo Pocket.
I have a question about the Action though. If you put that Rocksteady, do you have to bring it out of 4K and put it like 2.7, or you could do Rocksteady at 4K?
4K, pictures, everything.
4K.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. See the Hero, the Hero 7, that is, you have to take it down to 2.7.
Okay.
You can't do 4K with the stabilizer on.
Yeah, you can with the 8, right?
And that's fine with me because I'm not doing motion picture. I'm not selling my stuff to Netflix right now, you know? So
well, come on. We're all trying to shoot for that 4K, right? But the reality is everybody's watching it on a mobile device.
And you know, YouTube takes it down to 1080, right? So I mean,
YouTube will broadcast at 4K.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. That's true. You got that option.
But the thing is, realize something. You know, you really have to bake your video up on YouTube before you release it. You know, instead of just throwing it up and going, okay, go public right now. Mm-hmm. You actually have to set like go public, you know, 10 hours from now. Because if you throw it up right away, they don't do the HD resolution right away. So your first batch of people coming in are going to see it at SD.
That's why.
And depending if they're looking at it on a big screen, they're going to go, "Oh, look at that shitty video." Yeah. And that's what bugs me about Facebook. You can't put anything, you know, decent up on Facebook without it looking like shit for the first week and a half. You know,
it's the week and a half.
Jeez, it's ridiculous. But YouTube, I found, if you set it, you go ahead, you throw it up tonight. You say, "Hey, I want to launch it at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning." Mm-hmm. By 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, somebody goes to watch it in 4K. It's actually in 4K.
Yeah, 2160 by then. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's about that time.
Well, it's past that time, man.
Yeah, roll up out of here.
All right, guys.
Hey, everyone in the chat, I would like to thank you guys for stopping in and hanging out with us tonight. I'd like to thank my panel for hanging out with us, hanging out and discussing these topics, chit-chatting. Talking about drones, bunch of guys and their hobby.
Yep.
Sure, you're right.
Big boys with toys. And if there's any big girls in the room, let yourself know, please. Thank you.
There you go.
Hey, good time with everybody. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed yourself tonight.
Hit the thumbs up button. And we'll be back on Sunday. Don't forget to catch Roger tomorrow morning. He's on every morning. Yep. Monday through Monday, you can catch him. Canadian Drone Hub. I believe he starts at like what time's Roger start? 7:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Around 8 o'clock, I usually.
About 8 o'clock. Don't forget to catch him.
Yep. Make sure you check out Sean over at Geek Spawner.
Yes.
Definitely always great content with Sean.
Good over there.
Okay. And follow the rest of the friends we follow, from Billy Kyle to Ken Dono to Aldrin Anastacio and Flight Path, and there's a lot of good people to follow out there.
Oh yeah,
they bring something positive to the community, and we appreciate that.
Business too.
Oh, Roger will be on tonight as well.
Yeah, just got a notification on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
With that, everybody, have a good one. Okay.
That's up, fellas. Y'all gotta be safe.
See you next time on Phantom Flight 101.